The Holy Gospel, according to St. Luke, the 21st chapter. When some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and gifts dedicated to God, Jesus said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another. All will be thrown down." They asked him, "Teacher, when will this be? And what will be the sign that this is about to take place?" And Jesus said, "Beware that you are not led astray. For many will come in my name and say, 'I am he,' and the time is near. Do not go after them. When you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified, for these things must take place first, but the end will not follow immediately." And then Jesus said to them, "Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be great earthquakes, and in various places famines and plagues, and there will be dreadful portents and great signs from heaven. But before all this occurs, they will arrest you and persecute you. They will hand you over to synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors because of my name. This will give you an opportunity to testify. So make up your minds not to prepare your defense in advance, for I will give you words and a wisdom that none of your opponents will be able to withstand or contradict. You will be betrayed, even by parents and brothers, by relatives and friends, and they will put some of you to death. You will be hated by all because of my name. But not a hair on your head will perish. For by your endurance you will gain your very souls." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Everybody needs to have a sense of place, somewhere where we belong, somewhere that has the word home attached to it. It is usually that place in life where we felt the most comfortable, at peace, where we knew we belonged. Hopefully, that is the place where we now live, where the house, condo, the apartment feels like home. For some, it does not. They reside someplace now, but when they think of home, it's somewhere else, another town, another state, or maybe even just 2 blocks away. As an aside, I have always wondered how professional athletes live. They have a residence in Chicago, and their home, though, is someplace else. Even where their wife and children or significant others are, it may be in Texas or Oregon or Arizona. That may be the reason why some of them behave in such a dysfunctional way. Even when they are home, they are not home. Even last Monday evening in a place that I enjoyed very much, Palm Springs, and no, I am not mentioning this in a sermon so that I can take the trip off my income taxes, I was still ready to come home, to see Satchel and you, and find out what you were up to while I was away. Sociologists have discovered that we not only need a primary place, a place we call home, but we also need a secondary place, a place where we also have emotional ties. For many, it can be the college or high school alma mater, or the bowling alley, or Starbucks, or even the corner saloon. It's the place where everybody knows your name and where you feel most comfortable. For many of us, that is our church, or the church we grew up in. Many are still lucky enough to be in the church of their youth. I've had, in recent years, the mixed blessing of living down the street from the place where the faith embraced me, and for the last decade or so have watched that building go through many permutations. When it closed as a church, Nebo was sold to a developer who was going to turn it into condos. That didn't work out, so the city of Chicago bought it and first used it as a library and then as a cultural center. This was a fascinating period because the building was used for what it should have been used when it was a church. There were yoga classes, cooking classes, day camp during the summer, music classes, English as a second language classes. People were coming and going all the time, and the lights were almost always on. Then came the September of 2008 stock market debacle, and the city defunded the building, closing the program. It became a sad sight to see. The doors were boarded up, the windows were shuttered after some of the stained glass became broken. The organ was in a heartbreaking state of disrepair. For those of you who have ever wondered why I am so single-mindedly dedicated to keeping St. John's and Parkview alive, drive past the corner of Menard and Dakin Streets someday, and you will see. But thanks be to God, you're going to have to do that quickly, because another church has purchased the building and is working furiously to bring it back to life. Now the neighbors and I smile instead of worry every time we pass by, because while Nebo won't be Nebo ever again, it will be a place where people can call it their church home. Most of us know that what Paul Duke once wrote in the Christian Century is true. He was talking about Jesus' prediction regarding the temple that we heard in today's gospel, and he said, most of us know that Jesus didn't have to be clairvoyant to make this prediction. Every temple is a doomed house. Every structure and system for housing the holy will wear out its use, disappoint, and die. Name any temple you like, any ground that is sacred to us, because at one time or another God met us there. A church, denomination, neighborhood, family, friendship, vocation, passion, memory, or dream, they all have a lifespan, and they all come to an end. They may die of natural causes, but most often our temples fall because we neglect them until they rot, or because we weigh them down with impossible idolatrous additions. In the beginning, the temple was a tent, simple and supple, with room for the Spirit to blow through. But sooner or later, says Duke, we try to manage the mystery. The thing calcifies, thickens, encrusts, fills up with bad furniture, builds itself up to an unwarranted weight until it has to fall.